Hey y'all, it's Jazz, your fave mental health enthusiast, and welcome to Jazz's Corner, where we discuss all things related to mental wellness. So today we're going to be talking about self-care, because I don't know if anybody's ever told you this, but self-care is very important and should be a part of all of our lives. So grab a seat, grab some water, and let's get the discussion started on 15 things that you can do to sneak self-care into your life when you're busy. And these are all things that you can do in 10 minutes or less. So let's get it started and cue the intro. So what is self-care and why should we care about ourselves? So a lot of the time when people think of self-care, they think of taking a bubble bath, or maybe like splurging and spending a lot of money on themselves, or maybe even, like getting that new latte from Starbucks. I'll let you know right now, there is nothing wrong with a good bubble bath. And if you're feeling froggy, you can just throw a little rubber ducky in there too. I will not judge you. But ultimately, self-care is a state of mind. It's you telling yourself, I see you, I hear you, and I'm here to honor you. And with that mindset, you are doing what you feel is best for you to kind of take some time and nurture yourself. I say that self-care is a state of mind because ultimately it begins up here. If we don't think that we're worthy of rest, then it might be a bit harder for us to acknowledge when our body needs a break and to engage in acts of rest. So there's all kinds of benefits to engaging in self-care. It can help prevent burnout, it can reduce stress, it can also help you increase your productivity. And it provides balance in life because it allows you to kind of recalibrate and take a moment for yourself. But I feel like the most important benefits engaging in self-care is that it allows you to develop a relationship with yourself. Because if you're always go, 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 then you're not really in a space where you can take a moment and think about your own wants and needs. So engaging in self-care really helps you to kind of tap into that. So as far as the 15 ways to sneak in self-care when you're busy, we're just gonna start with the basics. Have you had enough water today? Are you dehydrated? That is a very simple thing that you could easily just, step away and get a sip of water if you feel like you haven't had enough water. And then, have you gotten enough sleep? Did you get 8 hours? Or were you more like, I'm gonna try and make it through the day in like 3, 4? Quality of sleep and definitely getting enough sleep can definitely make a difference in the way that we go about our day. And then number 3, have you had your Snickers bar for the day? And by that I mean, could you benefit from a snack? Because you're not yourself when you're hungry. So once we've checked off the basics, check. Now we can go and get our blood flowing. Always recommend taking a walk. It doesn't have to be this long, drawn out thing. You can just take like a quick stroll around the block, smell a flower, smell at a bee. Unless of course you are allergic to bees, and then you might wanna keep it cordial and keep it moving. And some other things that you can do if maybe walking's not your thing, or if it's raining outside, have a dance party. Take a moment, take like 3-4 minutes to dance to your favorite song. My favorite song is copyrighted, so I'm just gonna dance in silence for a minute. Insert favorite song here. It's that simple. And then there's always exercise. So exercise releases a lot of very important chemicals that help to release stress. And so those are all kind of movement-oriented self-care activities that you can do that hopefully don't take too much time out of your day. Now the next 3 are connection-based. And this includes calling or texting a loved one. And how you define loved one is completely up to you. This could be a friend, this could be a family member, this could be a friend of the family. It is completely up to you. But just you can send them a quick little text or a quick phone call to say, hey, I was thinking about you. And in this act of reaching out to another, it helps us to, one, reflect on all the individuals that we have in our lives that are fairly encouraging and supportive, and two, it helps to remind us that we are not alone in whatever we are going through. And so aside from calling and texting, you can also give hugs, because who doesn't love hugs? So you can give someone else a hug, or if there's no one else around, you can give yourself a hug. That is a thing you can do. Because honestly, when was the last time you gave yourself a hug? I personally really love to give myself hugs, especially after I work out. And so by giving yourself kind of like that hug and that touch and that feeling, you're able to say, hey, it's okay, I've got you, even if no one else is around. And so aside from hugging and calling and all of those things, you can play with your pet. There is a reason why your cat keeps sitting on your laptop. It's because they want attention. And no, I'm not speaking from personal experience. Yeah. So as much as there's a time for connection, there's also a time for disconnection, and that could look like coloring, because breaking crayons isn't just for 5-year-olds anymore. There's so many different kinds of coloring books out there for older teenagers and adults that really kind of like challenge you, but also bring a bit of peace, and it brings like a sense of fulfillment. So you can color. You can also journal. So there's kind of 2 approaches to journaling. Well, I'm sure there's more, but there's kind of like 2 main approaches that I personally like to take. You can do a brain dump, which is just listing everything that's on your mind. You can set aside a timer for like 10 minutes and just brain dump everything that's going on. Or you can take a more guided approach and you can look up like journaling prompts that ask you to reflect on certain things. And so you can spend about like 10 minutes reflecting. And aside from that, you can also engage in meditating. It doesn't have to be like a fully recognized meditation session, because it might take a bit more than 10 minutes to get into the swing of things. But you can simply close your eyes, take some deep breaths, and for about 5 to 10 minutes, think about anything that is not related to work or school or family or relationships or anything else that is stressing you out. These are definitely options that are available to you. You can also engage your senses as a form of self-care. So for example, sight might look like looking at things that are appealing to you, whether that's artwork or a book, poetry, or even just watching a short video. I know that I like to do that a lot. It's like if I'm taking a break, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and watch this 5-minute video and then get back to it. And then another sensory is a sense of touch. So you can hold an item that means a lot to you for, a few minutes and kind of reflect on that item and just kind of get that sensory feeling of touch. And there's also the sensory feeling of smell. So that could look like applying your favorite lotion, smelling essential oils, or spraying your favorite fragrances, just anything that brings like a feeling of comfort when you're smelling. So with that, we've gone through 15 different ways that you can sneak in self-care when you're busy. But I would like to stress that these are suggestions, and of course you should do whatever kind of feels most natural to you. So if that is bubble baths, then that's perfectly fine. If that is the new latte from Starbucks, perfectly fine. But I did want to bring kind of a different lens to self-care, because I really feel like self-care has been really commercialized over the years to mean, oh, we should always be like spending money on ourselves or keeping up with the latest gadgets, and that is self-care, when honestly self-care is just tapping into your innermost needs and wants. And so self-care, sometimes that looks like making an appointment with the doctor if you're able to. Sometimes that means addressing any mental health difficulties that you have. Sometimes that means like doing the adulting stuff that you like really don't want to do, like cleaning your room because you know you haven't cleaned it in about 2 weeks. So I wanted to kind of bring some balance to self-care, as well as kind of like a realistic lens of what you can actually get accomplished in a fairly short time span. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching my very first YouTube video. It truly means a lot to me. I hope that you liked it and that you consider joining the virtual party and keeping up with future videos that I post. And if you'd like to keep up with my Instagram, it's below in the description, as well as like maybe right here. I may put that right here. I don't know. And I would love to hear in the comments, what are your favorite ways to practice self-care? What do you think about self-care? What do you think about the commercialization of self-care, where it seems like if you're not getting like a spa or like the newest latest clothes or the newest latest things, then like you're not practicing self-care right? So I'm really interested to hear that down in the comments below. And jazz out. Don't forget to drink some water and give yourself a hug.